Hey, Darren Wisely here. So there's been a lot of discussion about gun control with the recent things going on in Virginia as well as the rest of the country. So last Sunday, not yesterday, but the week before, I wrote a letter to the editor of Hillsdale Daily News as well as some other sources, kind of just outlining my beliefs on it and some topics I wanted to bring to the public. Unfortunately, those haven't been published yet, and I know it's been the holidays, not blaming them or anything like that, but I just thought, well, what would be a great way to get it out to you? And I figured I'd just read it, so I've got it right here. And without further ado, I will read my piece to you. The title is, Red Flag Gun Laws, Just Say No. Dear Editor, red flag gun laws violate not one, but two and potentially more constitutional rights. In the wake of recent tragic shootings, red flag gun confiscation has come to the forefront of public news once again. These laws allow for firearms to be seized from individuals who have committed no crime, but are believed to be a danger to themselves or others. Currently, 17 states and D.C. have some form of this law. This type of legislation is being discussed here in Michigan and at the federal level as well. While some of the gun control advocates are well-meaning, they lack a basic understanding of public policy. By definition, criminals don't follow the law, so these efforts will have zero effect on them. Crazy people who have a lust to take a human life will not follow these laws either. So who will they affect? Law-abiding citizens who have no desire to harm others, but only see guns as a tool of self-defense for themselves and their families. If we look at the mass shootings in recent past, all of these could have been avoided or at least diminished had a law-abiding gun owner been allowed to carry. And who ends up ultimately putting an end to these shootings? A good guy with a gun, whether that be law enforcement or an armed citizen. Therefore, if we wanted to curtail these shootings, by logic, we'd have more armed citizenry. At the end of the day, one fact remains clear. The most dangerous places in the country are gun-free zones. Second Amendment. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We have a natural right to protect ourselves that preexists any government. The Constitution codifies this right as an essential American right. Imposing gun confiscation before crime is even committed is a clear violation of our natural right to self-defense and the Second Amendment. And I wanted to keep this piece brief to about 850-ish words, so I took this part out, but 2008 with the Heller case and 2010 McDonald, the Supreme Court did address the Second Amendment in some of the biggest and most recent Second Amendment cases and said that this Second Amendment is a right to protect yourself, and you have the right to have the same kind of weapon that someone who would intrude upon your home would use. So what that means is these people trying to limit magazine size, weapon type, the whole stupid assault weapon ban, well, what's an assault weapon, that kind of thing is just garbage, and that has been addressed. So something to keep in mind. But back to this. Due process. The Fifth Amendment to the Constitution mandates that no one shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. What makes red flag gun confiscation unique from other gun control measures is that it violates our constitutional rights besides the Second Amendment. Taking property from individuals who have committed no crime clearly violates due process. Gun control advocates claim due process is not violated because people can appeal to reclaim their property. However, this is completely backwards thinking. It takes away a person's innocence until proven guilty by having to prove they meet whatever criteria is required to receive their gun back. Furthermore, this line of thinking implies that the Second Amendment is a privilege, not a right. Due process is violated in other ways as well. The Sixth Amendment lists the rights of the accused, the due process procedures entitled to all citizens in all criminal prosecutions. While the red flag gun laws are not criminal prosecutions, they have the same effect. They accuse and administer punishment. So all these are following rights listed in the Sixth Amendment, informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, confronted with witnesses against the person, compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in the defendant's favor, the assistance of counsel for the defense, and an impartial jury. So none of those rights are afforded to one who has had a firearm taken as a result of a red flag gun law. Keep in mind all these Sixth Amendment protections are denied before any type of crime has been committed. So now turning to the First Amendment. While red flag gun confiscation clearly violates the Second Amendment and the right to due process, there are certain instances where First Amendment rights can be violated as well. Imagine posting a controversial Facebook post. Next thing you know, law enforcement is at your door confiscating your firearms as part of a red flag that arose out of something you posted on social media. Disagreeable speech is labeled hate speech, and hate speech can be considered violent speech, which could trigger a red flag gun confiscation. Liberties die when rights to free speech, press, and religion end. Far more than just the mentally ill are flagged. The American Civil Liberties Union of Rhode Island explained in a 14-page analysis that few people understand just how expansive the state's red flag law is. And I'm quoting them here. It is worth emphasizing that while a seeming urgent need for the law derives from recent egregious and deadly mass shootings, the law's reach goes far beyond any efforts to address such extraordinary incidents, the author said. As written, a person could be subject to an extreme risk protection order without ever having committed or even having threatened to commit an act of violence with a firearm. So, that's disturbing. For those who have seen the Minority Report, the 2002 film starring Tom Cruise, red flag gun laws look a lot like pre-crime policing. The evidence is clear that red flag gun laws make us less safe, are too expansive, and violate our constitutional rights. When it comes to protecting yourself, stand with me and just say no to red flag gun laws. So thanks for listening to that. Feel free to share it and get the word out about how these laws are in violation of our natural and constitutional rights. And feel free to leave some comments. I love discussion on the topic, so I'd love to see that. Anyways, take care. Have a great day.